Really awkward photo shoot. Hi guys, welcome to my... It's always gonna be weird to start. We're gonna go for it. I'm not holding a chicken. These are our rocks. I don't know how to care for it, so we'll find out what happens there. It looks like he's actually might be drying out. Hi, welcome to our YouTube channel. I'm Lauren, and this is our home on Meadow. And this is our first official video. We've been talking about this for a long time, many moons. I'm not supposed to say that, it's 2024, a long time. And we're finally doing it. Woo, yay us, way to go. Landon made a production company, so it's a lot easier. Now our neighbor's outside, so I'm about to die of shame. We were gonna start the first video just showing you our place. We've lived here for 2 years in May, so in a few months, it'll be 2 years. We are definitely still learning a lot, like a lot, and that's what this channel is just basically going to be, is kind of our journey. We are certainly not experts. We almost burned down our house with chickens. So we have been attacked by a rooster. We've had to give away a rooster to be butchered. Our male cat has had kittens. So lots of not going right and not expert material. But if we had somebody one step ahead of us that was doing some of this homesteading things in San Angelo specifically, in West Texas specifically, because it is its own unique approach, we would have loved that material, and we just haven't found it. And so we just decided to do it. And then along with our homesteading stuff, we also are hoping to homeschool our 2 children. And we're not religious, so that's kind of its own thing in Texas. Yeah, so I feel like that's kind of what the whole page is about. Lots of thrifting, homeschooling, homesteading. That's kind of the gist. Basically just whatever we're doing. But let's start with the tour. So this is our like hangout spot. We've got the fire pit, the picnic table, and the lights, and then our hammock with our pile of trash. So we thought we were gonna have to have the septic replaced, and we didn't, which was awesome. We had to have our gray water replaced. And so while they had the excavator here, they like tore down a ton of stuff for us, like a ton of stuff. I wonder if we have a before picture we could post. If we can, I would love for y'all to see it because it looks so different. But everything's in piles, if you'll notice. Like we have like huge piles. We're waiting on a skid steer to clear it and load it. So that's what's happening there. We'll start with the chicken coop. Okay, so these are our rocks. We're really proud of them. That's like the whole reason we bought this house, is we were like, oh my God, these rocks. Like, oh, okay. We're really proud of our rocks. Actually, it's for goats, in case you're actually wondering. They're for goats. And we don't know if we're gonna get goats or a cow. And Landon's convinced that those are cool rocks, so we kept them. I wanted to get rid of them. These are our chickens. We started with, can you see the chickens? We started with 15, and we have 5 hens now. We have 4 hens now? Well, shit. Is she in here? Yeah, she's in here. Okay, we have 5 hens now and an asshole rooster. We had 2 roosters, and the other one was way worse, and so he got sent away. We started with 15. 2 of them were roosters. 1 got sent away. A few got eaten by like Scout. And 2 got eaten by our neighbor's dog, who's jumping the fence and ate them. A few decided not to roost in the coop and got eaten. And we're down to 5 hens and 1 rooster who has attacked our 1-year-old. He's attacked everybody in this house, actually. So he might be getting processed. I've never processed anything, but I have a friend who just processed her first chicken, and I might have her come over and help me process. So anyways, we'll see how he lives. But this is the coop. Landon, I found this on Facebook Marketplace. It was such a bargain. And by bargain, I mean it was like 4 hours of work to cut down, and shingles are super heavy, and I didn't notice that. And so it was a nightmare, and Landon was such a peach and did it, not giving me a hard time with it, but it was so much more work than I realized. So yeah, we added this on. This was not here. The windows weren't here. And the back part wasn't here. No, the back part was there, the big door. So Landon added in these for like air circulation, this so that it doesn't like rain on top of this little box to give them a little bit more room inside. And then you can come look. Oh, should I try to hold a chicken? Sure. I don't hold chickens. Don't be mad at me. I'm not holding a chicken. Red's gonna come, look. I tried. I don't really mess with my chickens. The roosters are mean and I just don't really, I don't care. My eggs. Anyways, and oh look, more eggs. 2 more eggs. I'm not gonna hold these the whole time, so I'm gonna put those back. So we need to add a latch here, but anyways, this is my coop. The one thing I will say, I really like our coop. The chickens have an automatic door that does not automatically open, but it does automatically close. I don't know if our settings are wrong, but I want to get an automatic one. I really love that feature because you don't have to like be home by a certain time. So I really love that. Besides that, they just free range and I don't mind not having a run. Like people told me that I really would want to run. I personally have not found that I needed one. I think it's great. I'm trying to do the deep litter method and I don't know if we have enough air circulation for it. So that's something I'm kind of experimenting with right now, if you notice. What I realized is if I turn over this corner where the chickens were, it was all clumped together, which apparently means that it's not getting enough air circulation. And I'm thinking that these windows might be a little too high. So that's something to kind of think about. I guess if you're making your coop, we could probably add in another set of like windows and it might work. But if you are like wanting to do the deep litter method where it just like basically composts itself and you don't have to like sit there and rotate it, you basically just like let the chicken rotate it for you like a compost pile and add in more wood shavings, which is really nice because you have less work. You might want to think through air circulation. But yeah, I like that, the system. We feed them at the house. We also have a water collection system, which we definitely need to like fix. So as you can see, we're still figuring this out. So we'll put the little guard on, but we do have like a water collection system. In Texas, it's very, very hot. And so water is like a huge thing because it can run up your bill really quickly. So we have this, and then we have the second one. Eventually we're gonna try to have like a little bit more of a filtration thing, keep this covered and use this for part of, I would like to use it to water the animals eventually, because if you look right behind us, we do have like some makeshift stable situation, which I can show you all that too, actually. But so I would like for this to eventually just like be able to feed or water the animals since it is so close to them. It would just make it easy. But yeah, let's do a tour of this area. This is super cool. This was like one of my favorite areas of the house. So we have like a little covered area, which obviously needs to be fixed. It's falling apart. So it's very dilapidated, it's run down, but I think there's a lot that we can still use that we won't have to like redo it all, I don't think. But we've got a little storage room here, which is where I keep my wood shavings for the chickens right now. And then and then the rest of this was here, so I honestly, we haven't cleaned this out, so I don't know. Oh, and these are old windows. And then, come on, Scout. We've got just some little, I don't know what these are called, stables? If it's open, is it a stable? But what I really like about all of this is if we get a dairy animal, there's 2 separate pins so that you can like separate the mom from the baby, and then it'll be like overnight and it'll be a little easier to milk her in the morning or whatever. I like that it's already set up in this way, and then it's got this outside area and stuff. So hopefully one day we get a dairy animal. Come on, Scout. Okay, this is supposed to be our backyard. It's a work in progress. We've had there was like a dead tree here that we needed to get taken out. Like this, there was a huge tree right here. So we had to like rip out a bunch of trees. But besides that, I mean, I don't know. We're still kind of mulling over what we want to do with this area, but we shall see. This is our backyard. Then we have, here's the garden. It was completely overrun. It was insane when we got it. It was like, you couldn't even tell that was a garden for, like, we didn't know it was a garden for a long time except for because of these posts, I think. So yeah, this is the garden right now. I'm working right now, it's March. I'm working on tilling this up so that I can plant seeds. The boy. Indy. What are you doing?
I wanted to
You were worried about us? Oh, no need to worry. You're supposed to be in rest time. See you later. Scout goes everywhere with the kids and protects them from the rooster. Anyways, so this is the garden. It's in March and I'm working on tilling it for the seeds that I have started to transplant out here. I think we're thinking about moving the garden and making this like basically a patio, but we'll see. So, TBD. This is our pecan tree. It was here when we got here, and I don't know how to care for it, so we'll find out what happens there. But we do have a pecan tree, which is nice. So this area is going kind of where we're thinking we're gonna put the garden and move everything over here in an orchard. So this is a free water tank that we got. Landon had to drive like 2.5 hours, 2 hours, and brought it back, but it was free, and those are normally like $2,000. So really excited about that. And it doesn't have any cracks, we don't think. Again, water is expensive here in Texas because we have none of it. And so if we can collect all of our rainwater and use that to water everything, that's gonna save us a ton. So that's what the goal is eventually. And then over here, I just recently planted these this last week. I still have all the markings on it because I need to write in a garden journal what each one is. But this is a peach, and then we have 2 pears, and then we have 2 apples. In theory, these are all supposed to be, you know, good for our climate, said the local nurseries. Fingers crossed. And I think we'll go more in depth about the fruit trees later, but for now, fruit trees. We can talk more about like the varieties that I got for our zone. And kind of some of the trees you're gonna need companion planting of a same variety. And then over here, we have 2 blueberry bushes and 2 strawberry bushes. So we will see what happens there. That's everything. Oh, let's go look at the seeds inside that I have started. Okay, so I attempted to grow in containers this winter and it was not super successful. I'm not really sure why. So my broccoli is bolting, and I know it bolts whenever it gets too warm. And so I'm wondering if I just planted them too late is what I'm leaning towards. I do have a singular cabbage that looks good. That's it. That's all I got. Oh, and he looks like he's actually might be drying out. So I have nothing. I did great. Okay, so let's go inside and look at seeds. You didn't say go. Okay. The baby's asleep. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I get mixed information, but I'm gonna say that we're in gardening zone A, although I've been told AB, so I don't know. But I should have, so I did not start any of my seeds. I had like a little thing printed out that was telling me when to start my seeds. And then I was at Indy's co-op and I was asking some of the moms like, hey, like, do you garden? What seeds, like when are you starting your seeds? And they're like, oh, we started them already. And I was like, okay. It was like the last week of February and I was not planning to start anything until March. So I went to ChatGPT and used Landon's AI thing and like asked it to make me a schedule, and then also included like high temperatures because for San Angelo everything is like in triple digits in the summer, and it made me a little cute little like gardening guide, and I will post that for you guys to download and print because it's super helpful. It is not perfect. I know nothing, but it helps as like a jumping off point to use with a grain of salt. So I very quickly, the like last week of February, started all of these seeds. And they've done really well. This is not the like ideal window for them because our sun basically goes west, rises in the east and sets in the west. So it's east to west right there. Like an ideal window would be like right here behind our bed, or like Indy's window back there. And I'm not putting my seeds in my child's room because I don't trust him like that. So I have this little grow lamp, this little grow light, which I think definitely helps. And then they get extra light because when the sun sets, they like still get this. So I think my hope is that they'll kind of like beef them up faster than what they would be getting since I'm behind basically. And then my jalapenos and peppers were not sprouting like at all, and strawberries actually were not sprouting at all. So I moved them. I looked it up and they need to be like pretty warm compared to the other seeds. So I moved them back in here and a piece of Tupperware. Oh, I should go grab the Tupperware lid in a second and I'll show how I started it. Moved them back in a piece of Tupperware, and this is a heat lamp that we had for the cats, and it's not really getting cold anymore that they need that, and they have a secondary one back in there. So I did that, and within 24 hours they sprouted, so I'm really excited about that. Within 24 hours I had all of these, like 4 sprouting. These 2 are strawberries that are not sprouting. They're a different type than the plants that I bought. And then over here are my jalapenos, and I'm not confident that the jalapenos were good seeds. I bought all of my seeds on Amazon actually, like just heirloom seed packet, and they were fine. They've all done really well and all like sprouted, except those jalapenos. Okay, so I was going to mention a couple of things. We have a piece, this is just like the bottom of a Tupperware basically, or like a storage bin. I use a soil blocker and I planted on this and then use that basically to make a makeshift greenhouse. And then as soon as you see a couple sprouts starting, you just want to take that off so nothing starts getting mold on it. Again, we'll do a more in-depth video. But for part of the seed setup, what I was going to mention is I have a little fan over there. And so what that does is make them hardier and like more, it's like hardening them off basically. Like when you put them outside and then they can't get exposed to wind and they get like a thicker stem. This is just like helping the process along. So I was using that on them during the day. But then when I got this little heat set up, it was blowing the heat off of this thing. So I'm gonna start running it at night, just on a low speed. I'll show you like what I have. So that's basically what I do, and it just like helps them be a little bit hardier and not gonna be as fragile whenever I do move them outside. They won't just blow over because of the wind because they're thin.
A little bit darker.
That might actually be like a little fast, but you know.
Honestly, it's good for demonstration purposes because they're wiggling a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You would want to see it.
Cool.
And then these are our green beans that our neighbor shared with us. He like, I guess had a bunch of extra green beans and was like super cute and brought them over for me. And look, I have a little green bean. And I heard you're supposed to pick these so that they won't put too much energy into this so that you'll get more. But I was gonna wait for them to get a little juicier so I can eat them. And that's my little green beans.
I think they were strawberries or something.
Yeah. But anyways, this is my little setup. It works really, honestly, it's working great for me. It is not super high tech. It is not super convenient even. It's like in our bedroom by a window, kind of in the way. But it works for us for now. And I think that's all that counts. You do what you can with what resources you have. And that's what we're doing here. So we have this.